I mean, there are lots of things where people are buying it because they think it's going to go up in value, and the promoters are saying, hey, this is going to go up in value. And does that really turn something into a security? Does it turn the sale of that thing into an investment contract? I mean, I think if we really were to apply that, as your question sort of suggests, we could end up regulating a lot of the economy, and I don't think that really makes a lot of sense. So I've had some concerns around Howey in general, not just as it applies to crypto, because I think it can be really stretched to cover a lot of different scenarios. And I think it would be helpful for us to maybe try to, it's obviously a court case, so we're not changing the case, and I'm not suggesting that the case in itself was wrong. I think the idea that if you give your money to someone else with the expectation of profits based on the efforts of that other person, it does make sense to capture that within the securities laws, but I don't think that when I sell you a fancy watch and I say, hey, this is going to be something that you can pass on to your kid and it's going to increase in value, that the SEC really should be regulating that transaction. I do think that it would be good if people who were buying these things, whether they're NFTs or physical objects, thought carefully about how they're spending their money and what they're getting. And I do worry that if we move into more and more paternalism as a government, people are going to think less and less about what they buy because they're going to assume that the government is there watching out for them. And, you know, if someone's buying a stoner cat, it's sort of, I don't really view it as my primary objective to prevent that person from, you know, spending a little too much money on a stoner cat. You know,
we're all very happy to hear that.
So I think we need to just also remember that there's a lot of traditional securities fraud going on, and resources that we spend going after stoner cats are not being spent to go after brokers who are wiring money from their customers' accounts into their own. And frankly, I think the latter group is where we should spend more of our resources.